Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Paige Evans design team. And for this layout, I'm going to be using the Whimsical collection and also one of Paige's newer cut files. This one is called XOXO, and I've already got it cut here on this really pretty pink ombre paper. And this is from Whimsical. It's paper number 17. And I enlarged the XOs pretty big, and I love that this is a vertical design because it gives you some fun little nooks and crannies to tuck your photos and embellishments in. And it's fun to start a layout with a big cut file because it's going to help you put everything together nicely, I think, and it's going to help the layout come together a little bit quicker, or at least for me it does. Now, I love this cut file especially because it has these really fun and pretty intricate details inside the letters. You get some little flowers and leaves, and once you get all those punched out, look how pretty this is. I think that is gorgeous. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to use two photos, black and white, and I think I've actually scrapped these before on a past layout because they look familiar, but you know me, I scrap selfies all the time, so they do all look familiar. But anyway, I printed them in black and white because I knew I wanted to incorporate lots of colors. As soon as I decided on this pink ombre paper, I knew I wanted to brighten everything up around it using some bright florals. So I went straight to this paper, which is paper number 3, and it's just loaded with gorgeous florals. And these remind me of tropical colors. So I'm going to just fussy cut out 3 big clusters of flowers, mainly with that deep orange color, and kind of arrange it like this. I also cut a couple of those smaller yellow flowers for little pops of that color, and that's kind of how the design is going to go as you see it right there. Now I'm going to use some white cardstock as my background, and this is, I believe, basil marshmallow. Sometimes I use the double thick, but this is, I think, the marshmallow, and it's still pretty thick. It's nice and smooth, and it's perfect for mixed media layouts. Now what I'm doing here is just adding some clear gesso, and then I'm going to let that dry. And then I just wanted to do something different today, so I pulled out some light blue acrylic craft paint, nothing special, and I'm just going to start to smudge some color down using my brayer. And you can see here the difference between thick acrylic paint and, say, watercolors or ink sprays. It's a lot thicker, and it's going to just kind of go right onto the paper in the shape that it is. It's not going to do a nice blending job because it's so thick, and that's okay because I wanted just to get a base color down just using a different product than I normally do. I don't use acrylic paint a ton, but it's fun to do, and I like that it just creates a little bit of different shading when I start to add in my shimmers here. And these are just some nice ink sprays in coordinating blue colors. I've got some aquas and some turquoise colors here to mix with that light blue paint. And my goal here was just to use color on the background that I did not have going on in the papers. And so I don't have any blue in the papers. And so that's why I added a lot of blue to the background. It's going to provide a nice contrast, and it's going to give me that pop of blue and really create this nice tropical look. Now, this is a really fun green color from Shimmers. It's got some gold powder mixed in it, and so it's going to give a really nice shimmer when it's dry. And I love how this is looking. I love that you can see the blue in between the cut file and around those flowers. And I thought I would add a little bit more of that lighter, I don't want to call it lime green, but it's definitely not a dark green. And I'm just going to use my brush to kind of paint a little bit of that color here and there. And when I look at it here, it's too bright. It's too limey. So I'm going to add a little bit of Well Blue Me Down, which is more of an aqua color, to kind of tone it down. And that's the fun part about mixed media, is you can just, if you don't like one color, just add another color over it. And if that messes it up, just smudge some gesso on it and then kind of start over. I think it's always fixable. And yeah, I added the gesso first. I still get a lot of questions about, you know, can I do this kind of thing without gesso? And you certainly can, but if you want to blend color and not let it soak right through the paper right away, the gesso is what's going to do that. And I love to blend and smudge and kind of watch the color run and create new colors with different colors, and the gesso is what allows that to happen. So I'm going to come back with everything and add it onto the background and see what I've got. I love how this is looking. It looks very tropical, and you know me, I could make tropical colored layouts all day long because those colors are my fave. So I'm going to add a little bit of tissue paper just to add a little bit of a subtle, messy, uneven layer behind my photos, and it just kind of adds a little extra layer behind there to kind of separate it from the background. And I've already got some nice separation because my photos are black and white, and when you have a lot of color, and sometimes, let me back up, sometimes I like to use color photos on multicolored layouts. It just depends on the photo, honestly. But if there's, you know, some neutrals behind us, or we're wearing contrasting colors that don't go with anything that I want to use, I see no harm in making the photos black and white. And so I've got so many pool pictures with the bright blue and bright sun and bright colored swimsuits. I wanted to do these in black and white because I really wanted to focus on the bright colors of the flowers. So anyway, I'm going to come in with some more pops of yellow, that darker yellow color, or not dark yellow, but that golden yellow. And so I'm going to do that with some thread here. And I'm just going to tuck in a little bit on the left and a little bit on the right. And then I'm going to play around with embellishments. I wanted to pull in a couple more florals and leaves, and so I went to the whimsical chipboard stickers. I'm going to use the sticker sheet. I actually used quite a few chipboard flowers here. I pulled out some more orange, some yellow. There's leaves on the chipboard sticker sheet. Another little yellow flower up top. Even though it's a different flower, doesn't matter. And I really like the way this little curved chipboard that says the happy life, it kind of fit right on the top of the curve of the O. And so I'm going to use that right there. I thought that kind of worked out nicely because I thought, you know, do I want to use one of these big die cuts as a title? But I just couldn't find the right spot for it, and they were just kind of big. So I'm going to settle on the happy life as my title. And I like that it's small, and I really like that it's curved. It just happened to work really nicely on the top of that O. So I'm going to go through and make sure everything is glued down. Even though these are stickers, I've said this a million times, but it's so true. Nothing ever wants to stick to gesso, especially clear gesso. I use the Liquitex brand, and it's pretty gritty. And so you definitely want to add glue behind there to make sure that everything's going to stick down. Now I'm going to also use some of the whimsical rub-ons, especially that little yellow flower down there. I wanted an extra pop of yellow down in that area, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And these rub-ons work great on top of the mixed media. I've never had a problem with them not working. And I also want to say, I hope that my voiceover is matching what you're seeing. I have had a time, I don't know what is going on with my computer and my editing software, but it is giving me the worst trouble for the past 2 days. It keeps freezing and stopping and then speeding up, and so whenever I do a voiceover, sometimes it doesn't match up with what you're seeing. So this is my final shot at trying this before I toss my computer. I don't know, it just gets moody. I guess it's like me. It gets in bad moods, it gets in good moods, it works, it doesn't work, who knows. But I'm going to keep going with this, and even if what I'm saying doesn't match up, you can still see what I'm doing, so we're just going to go for it. I'm going to add in some more of the rub-ons. I love that little good vibes piece up at the upper left part, and then that little part I just added says you make me smile. And I wanted to add in another color. I almost didn't, but I wanted to add in some purple. So I went for paper number 14, and I'm just going to do some fussy cutting here. And I'm going to cut out 3 of these purple flowers and use those around the layout. And I love how that looks. Just when you think adding another color will be too much, sometimes it's just the perfect thing. And I think it just makes it look even more tropical. I love how this is turning out. So a couple pops of purple. I've got my blue on the background, so I don't need anything else blue because I've got plenty of that. I'm going to go ahead and add in a couple of journaling lines here so I can add my journaling in. And I'm just going to do a little bit over to the left of that bottom O. It's the perfect spot for it. And I'm going to use my black pen today since I've got black and white photos. I feel like that'll be just the perfect little extra pop of black. And then a couple more splatters. This is a golden yellow color from Shimmers called Mustard Seed. And then I am going to come in with some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, just because I felt like adding some more gold. Actually, I didn't even use any gold. I just felt like adding gold, period. I didn't use anything else gold, but it just hit me. I was like, yeah, let's use some gold. Why not? And I do add a puffy sticker off camera below the top photo that matches the little curved, the happy life. It's going to say Better Together. But that's the final layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really a lot of fun to make. I love all the tropical colors. I love fussy cutting out flowers. Probably one of my favorite things to do. And I love the cut file. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions about any of Paige's cut files. Make sure you check out her cut files. I will leave that linked below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.